Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Train Sim World 4 Long Island Railroad Commuter live stream. It is wonderful to be back with you here. I am JD, I'm Director of Community here at Dovetail, and I'm joined tonight by two very special guests to show you the latest and greatest release to come to Train Sim World 4. At least that's what we've been told anyway. So Matt, it's lovely to have you with you. Matt is our exec producer here at Train Sim World. How are you doing this evening, Matt?
Oh, I'm doing very good. I'm kind of hyped, actually. Kind of hyped. This is very exciting.
I'm pumped. I say I don't come back for I don't come back for just any live stream. It had to be this one. It had to be this one. And we are also welcomed by a very very special guest from Signaling / Beta / Long Island Enthusiast Corner. We have Brandon, aka cAcTuSjUiCe. It's fantastic to have you with us. Thank you for spending your time this evening to jump on the live stream with us. How are you doing this evening?
Great. Really excited to finally show this off. It's been a long time coming, and it's privileged to be here. So thank you for having me.
It's an absolute privilege to have you with us too. Thank you very much for joining us. And as I say, we'll have a few shout outs, I think, as we go through the live stream, because this has been very much a collaborative effort, this particular add-on. But what is the add-on? Of course, it is Long Island Commuter, New York to Long Beach, Hampstead and Hicksville. It is coming to Train Sim World 4 on the 30th of April, which is Tuesday. If you're on Steam, you can pre-order it now. You can get up to 20% discount. You have a 10% pre-order discount. If you already own Long Island, you'll get an extra 10% as well. So if you like what you see tonight, please jump along and let us know what you think and have a go at pre-ordering. Also, found this out just in the countdown. It was Long Island Railroad's 190th birthday just yesterday. So, I mean, if we'd known that beforehand, probably would have done the live stream last night, but there we go. It is releasing on the 30th. And tonight what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing you as much of the route as we can do. There's been a load of changes, load of improvements, load of additions to the route. And we're going to try and cover as much as we possibly can over the course of the next, let's face it, it's probably going to be like 2.5 hours, isn't it? It's going to go well past my bedtime. We're going to tonight show you a service from Long Beach to Penn Station in the new M9. We're going to show you, we're going to do some talk about signaling. Obviously that's Brandon's specialist subject, and he's got loads and loads of wealth of information to tell you all about how all the signaling's been changed for this particular route. We have then we're going to have a service from Atlantic to Babylon in the M7, which has had a few upgrades as well, so we want to show you all of those. And also we're going to be doing after that a little night run so you can see the New York skyline in the M9 as well. Then we're going to do a little bit of the guard scenario, which is again a new addition to Long Island. And then we're going to do a little bit of just AOB, any other business at the end. But we're also going to try and answer your questions about the route as we go through as well. So please chuck them into the chat as we go through. And I think that pretty much does it for admin. I'd say that's a new record, 2 minutes, Matt.
That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. You can go away and come back again.
That's fast.
I passed the test, have I? Cool. Okay. Well, I think there's probably a load of very, very highly anticipated people in the chat. So shall we get on with it, Matt? Shall we kill the face cams, get into game, and find out a little bit more?
Absolutely. Right. Where's my mouse gone? There it is. Right. So let's go over here. The other thing that's worth shouting out before we get too far in it, and I'm going to pop this up every now and again, is we have a manual. Do you just want to talk about the manual briefly, JD?
Yes, I can. So this is the handiwork of James in the marketing team. He's put together a pretty comprehensive manual to go through everything related to Long Island Commuter. There is one of the kind of quirks of this, and we'll come into this in a little bit more detail, is that safety systems will be on by default as part of this route. That is a licensor request. And obviously we want to try and make sure that as many players as possible know how to manage that and how to go through that and how to operate as best they can do. The manual has all of those details. I think Matt has also recorded a quick how to do trains on Long Island as well, little tutorial, so we'll be putting that live next week as well. But if you scan the QR code, you should be able to be directed to the manual on the Steam page, and you can give it a little read before we launch next week.
Right. There we go. I'll pop that up every now and again, and we'll end with it on the screen as well. And it looks like the moderators are being amazing and posting the link into the chat as well. So lots of options. Apparently my chat is being muffled. Oh, that's probably because it's found its way underneath my collar. Let me just fix that real quick. Is that coming through better now? Let me know. Volume seems fine. Right, okay, Long Island Railroad Commuter. Let's just have a quick look at the vital statistics. So service mode 625, Scenarios on here, we have got a range of different scenarios doing different things. Some of them on the M3. The M3 obviously is a DLC, so the scenarios for the M3. You've got scenarios for the M9 and scenarios for the M7 as well. So there's a range of different scenarios doing all sorts of different things, and there's really cool stuff. If you liked a guard mode in Glossop, Double Duty is where you need to be going, and you'll notice it's a 1 hour and 10 minutes. This is a very different, there's a lot going on in Double Duty.
And those are all new scenarios, Matt. Am I right in thinking?
Yeah, it's all new. Well, I have to be because it's a new route. Yes, these are all new scenarios. Obviously, the M3 ones you only get if you've got the M3, but they'll be added to as part of the M3. Yeah, it's all new scenarios.
Cool. And just on the 625 services, I believe that I've got a breakdown of what those look like in reality. So there are 32 M3 scenarios if you have the M3 installed. There are 287 M7 services. That's up from 181 in the original Long Island. And there are 306 M9 services as well, including AI. I think it takes it up to about 1,100 services, which I think is the fourth most playable passenger route in the game as it stands.
So I'm just going to do a slow down scroll down here, and you can get an idea of the scope of the pattern here. The Long Island timetable is big, it is busy, and there's some interesting stats actually that Eddie, one of the beta testers, pulled out. And I don't want to know how much time he spent trying to figure this stuff out, but
hundreds of hours. It's crazy.
It is. It was the number. I've been told not to say the number in case his wife was watching the stream because it would be a problematic thing. But it's a big number, and it's amazing. But this is just testament. Actually, he enjoyed it. This was not a sort of a. This is not work. This was something that it was really enjoyed, and all the beta testers actually have had a really good time with it. It's been really good fun. But one of the things he called out was how many trains you see in Jamaica at various points during the day. And I think morning peak hour, it gets to something like 36 trains in 1 hour. And our evening peak hour, there's about 3 or 4 hours where it's hitting 35 trains per hour in that point. So, there's an absolute ton of stuff going on. And this is just the M9. The M7 is different services, remember rightly. It's not the same. It's different services. And the M3, again, is different services. So, yeah, tons of stuff going on. You've got yard services, depot services. I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom of the board of that now. Right. Quick look at the M3. Obviously, there's less on the M3. So does a variety of things. The M3 wasn't in use, I think, as much. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon. But the M7 and the M9 lived together for a while. But I don't think the M3 was in quite so much because the M9 was intended to replace the M3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
that's my understanding.
Yeah, but we wanted to be able to run them all because the M3 is actually a cool train. It means that you've got a little bit of heritage stock that's running up and down while you've got the core traffic on the M7 and the M9. So
it's 2021 timetable, isn't it, Matt? I think it's updated to 2021.
Yeah, timetable is modern. The route itself is still based in the same time period the original Long Island that we did was. So, for example, Grand Central Madison Square, if I've got that right, Brandon, isn't in the route. And also some of the other modifications to the route, like on the east? It's east of Jamaica, isn't it? Where the 2-track was expanded to 3-track more recently, and that's not in the route either. So the core of the route, track-wise, is fundamentally what it was before, and then the line's been then extended down to Jamaica. But we'll show you not Jamaica, to Long Beach.
Yeah,
but we'll show you.
It's a weird mashup of time periods, and some people were kind of concerned about that, but it honestly works. So, and we'll show you. It actually flows really nicely.
So, okay. So I think, is there anything else I need to show from the UI before we just get on with it, JD?
No, I think there was a question about us. Can we see a little bit of the double duty scenario? Yep, we'll do that towards the back end of the stream. We're going to do a few services first. Just while Matt gets that set up and we set up our first service, just a few little other tidbits and bits of information for you. So the length of the route is 57 miles. That's an additional 15 miles from the Long Beach branch, which has been added. Also added another 10 stations to bring it up to 37. You've got the new M9 EMU. the updated M7 EMU as well, which has got new audio and other bits and pieces that have been brought up to kind of standards of TSW4. You've got the abandoned Woodhaven station on the Atlantic branch. Sunnyside Yard has been reworked. There's some static AI, which we'll hopefully see from Trenton route as well as layers in. There is some updated scenery. Again, we'll show you that as we go through. Obviously, TSW4 feature set, so scenario planner, chained paths, volumetric fog, rain effects, TOD4 lighting, dynamic weather, all of that kind of stuff. We'll go through more as we go through, but there's a lot to go through tonight.
Right, let's get started then. So we're starting in Long Beach. So let me talk you through the startup procedure, because we've got no brake charge anymore. So it's master key on, reverse it back to forward, put it into max brake, and you'll notice the brake charge now happens automatically. That's it. And in the video that's going to go out, it talks you through resetting from emergency brakes and all how this works. It's really straightforward. Really straightforward. So let me go ahead and get these doors open, and then we can have a fly around Long Beach. Is there anything particularly you want to call out around Long Beach area, Brandon?
Not really. I do enjoy at certain times of the day going over the water, and I just like how the sky looks at times. Todd 4 does wonders for this route.
So while we're waiting, actually, let's have a quick look at the map. So this is Long Beach down here. This gap here is the bridge, which we're going to be going over in a minute, and it's all 5 miles an hour until you're 3/4 of the way over the bridge. And then we work our way up to Valley Stream and so forth, all the way up. And then you've got both of these routes. Now, remember, the traffic is about 50-50 split, I think, between these two lines. So that was why they both had to go in. So there's traffic going in both ways until you get to Jamaica up here. Then you've got Atlantic Terminal down here. Again, I don't think there's any changes track-wise down here, but it's important to remember every single signal has been ripped out and replaced in this. It's all new signalling on this. You can see here that Penn Station is busy. We've got 2 trains queuing up to get in at the moment. And this queuing up thing is actually a feature of the line, isn't it? It's as normal.
To a degree, it's very difficult to get trains in and out of all these tracks and tunnels, and it's a mess. It's a well orchestrated mess.
Maybe we should have that as the tagline of the add-on.
But
Nigel,
Joe made it work.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Joe's done a brilliant job with the timetable. Absolutely brilliant. Nigel, what has Todd for me? Time of day 4. So that's the skies, the clouds, the lighting system, all of that stuff. The newer lighting, the newer fluffy clouds as opposed to the flatter ones we had before. Right. Okay. So let's get going. Now, bear in mind the other thing: safety systems are always on. You'll see that our ADU is giving us a 15. We don't have any access information coming in at this point, and track speed is actually 5. So
yeah.
5 miles an hour all the way out there, and I'm already breaking the speed limit. So
that's okay. You've got 30 seconds to make up, so you're good.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a stream with you, Matt, if we didn't have some kind of overspeed in the first 5 minutes, and then
there's got to be some overspeeding. There's got to be some missed stations, maybe even worse.
Well, some people were saying
that
we weren't going to get an emergency brake opportunity, Matt, but I feel like the chat certainly thinks that there will be at some point.
Oh, I'll do it on purpose so that you can see what to do to recover from it. It's,
of course. Sorry, Brandon, interrupted.
Nah, you're good. As far as train setup goes, Matt, let's get those headlights on to bright and turn off the marker lights if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah. I always forget that. So one of the other changes is you'll notice where there used to be door controls back here. There's now door controls up here. This has been discussed in the articles. One of the changes required is the realistic door controls have been replaced by a left, a right, and a buzzer button up there. So you've still got the ability to operate the doors, using your mouse buttons as we want to. Obviously, the Y, the U, D-pad left, D-pad right, all of that stuff works exactly as you'd expect it to be. And your left door controls are here for operating on the left side, because again, panel's blank over there. Let's have a look at the outside of the M9 while we're waiting. You'll notice we have PIS.
Oh, exciting.
We do. We have PIS.
Yeah, it looks good.
I really like these metallic finish Long Island trains. That just appeals to me. I don't know why. So yeah, you got the PIS down there. You've got a little bit of more interactivity going on here as well. Like, so for example, if you click on this, you get the what's going on with the third rail as well. So I'm just going to leave it on that one for the time being. And can you guys remind me on the next one to do the manual setup of PIS as well, so we can show that? Because I forgot this time around.
Sure. You mean like changing the train number?
Yeah, because you can manually set the PIS. I mean, you can only set it to the right thing, but you have to follow the process and watch it initialize, and it's quite cool. It's a cool process. What I really, really like about this, though, is when you're going over dead sections, you can see it, because you can see the bars drop off, which is really, really neat. So we'll leave it on that one for the time being. But you'll find there's a bit more going on down here as well.
There's a lot of requests for the horn, Matt. Are we able to do a little horn run?
We got plenty of opportunity to use the horn. There's a lot of crossings on the Long Beach branch. This is the shot I love. I love going over the water like this, and depending on the time of day, time of year, Todd Ford just does some wonderful stuff with the sky.
This is in reality a lifting bridge. It doesn't animate in the game, however. This is the mastery. You can go in here in the mastery.
Ah, okay. So just going to grab a few questions from the chat already. Thanks to the mods, by the way, who are picking up some of your questions and sticking them into a little document for us. We'll try and answer as many as we can do. So will New York Trenton Services layer on as AI? Yes, I think we've touched on that already in the yard. Will there?
But just to expand on that, sorry, you'll see some trains in the Sunnyside Yard. You'll see some trains in Penn Station, but they are static. They don't move anywhere.
Yeah, cool. Where are the safety systems buttons? I don't know if they're operable. Are they, Matt?
There's no fuses at all. They're all gone. You can't turn the safety systems on and off. The only one that you need is the acknowledge button. That's the one that you need to operate the safety system. But you can't turn them off, so the switches aren't there.
Yeah. So we've already demonstrated a couple of instances of the some of the amendments that have been made as part of this route. So the dynamic brake charging, automatic, safety systems being on by default. There's a couple of others you can check out. An article that we put out, I think when we announced the route, just to see a few of the other amendments that have been requested as part of the licensor. So there might be a couple of little differences, but again, we'll aim to show you as much as we can as we go through. But safety systems will be on by default, so it is worth cluing up on the manual and the tutorial videos, and also the tutorial in game, just to make sure you're as equipped as you can be to be able to acknowledge and make sure they give you an enhanced experience of the route.
So Matt, just to remind you, we have a 12-car consist, so there are along these platforms stop car markers. So you'll see like 6 MU, 8 MU, 10 MU. We're going to be stopping at the one that says 12 MU, which sometimes can be pretty far from the end of the platform. So people, when you're playing it, don't get like too scared, like, oh, I'm too far off the platform. No, it's fine. So
the game actually tracks the stop at the end of the platform, and that's actually a limitation in TSW. It can't actually have a stop marker off the end of the platform, but there's nothing to stop you stopping here and opening the doors so that you're in the right place for the platform. I don't know whether everyone saw, by the way, I tried to highlight it with the mouse as we went over dead sections, but you could see the bars there dropping and the trains going red.
Yeah, it's a nice touch. And the physics, the simulgraph, actually responds to those drops in voltage.
Oh, this is another good shout, actually. The alerter, you'll notice I'm stopped and the alerter went off. If you don't want the alerter to go off, put it in max brake, and that cancels the alerter from happening as well.
Matt, can we see the station PIS, please?
Yes. Lots of work on PIS on this route. He says, desperately trying to find it.
There we go.
There are, I think, 2 types, Brandon. Is that right?
Yeah, you have this type, and then you'll see a different variety when we get to places like Jamaica. It's a little bit different.
A question from Omar as well. How many, Brandon, this might be for you, how many seconds do you have to acknowledge the safety system before the penalty break occurs?
For the alerter, it would
Quite a
be
long
something
time.
like 7 seconds.
It's
Yeah,
quite a
you
while.
have quite a while.
Right, so we're at 40, so we can speed up. It maintains 40 pretty much all the way up this leg of the branch until we join the main stem.
Yeah, after this curve up here, you actually get to stretch your legs up to 60 briefly. That's the only point where you'll have a 60 code. And then it slows back down to 40.
How long would a, I know there are lots of different varieties of services on this particular route, but what would you say kind of an average end-to-end, well, that sort of longest end to longest end run would take for this particular route?
Depends on where you're starting.
I was going to say, this map is such a winding mess of all sorts of different things, because you've got 80 miles per hour in some sections on the main line over here. You've got shorter, slower speeds down here, but to get even this one, I think is an hour, isn't it?
It's something like that. Yeah, so this service actually gets you to Penn in exactly an hour.
Yeah. And then we're going to do another one, which is from Atlantic down to, I think, here. And that's 40
Lynbrook,
minutes.
I believe, is where it terminates.
Yeah, so that's I think 40 minutes. So there's one of the things that's really like this, and the reason we did the line down this instead of extending, we thought about extending up here, going up the main line to Huntington. That would give you precisely a longer extra of everything you're already doing. Whereas what this does, adding this bit down here, it adds so many extra things that you can do, starting, stopping, and all over the place.
Yeah, so get this thing up to 60, and I'll let you know where you should start braking. It's right around the whistle sign for the next crossing, and that should get you down to speed and time.
Crazy Killer, this might be something that we come across during the course of the stream, but Crazy Killer's asked, apart from Todd 4 in the water, what other kind of scenery improvements have we done to the previous part of the route?
So I think predominantly the nighttime lighting and lighting up all the assets, adding the glow lighting around the area of the route, that sort of thing. There's a lot of that gone on. There's been some general scenery polish up. Jamaica has had some extra buildings and some reordering and rearrangement done to fill it out a bit more because it's quite built up. Fundamentally, it's very similar to what it was. I guess another thing is Sunnyside. We'll see that when we get there. Sunnyside was missing. Was it the subway line that was missing, Brandon, before?
Yeah, you're going to want to brake. You're going to get hit with a 40 code at the crossing.
Yeah,
so yeah, a lot of things around there have been spruced up. Yeah, that's the 7 line, I believe. The IRT 7 line.
Yeah, so
that bridge was missing.
That bridge was missing. That actually, amazing how much of a change that makes, to be honest. The whole visage of the experience of going out through Sunnyside there, it covers it up.
Yeah, it's a big thing that kind of sticks in your face, and the fact that it was missing was kind of noticed. But now it's there, so it's good. What else was added?
Oh, just quickly while you're thinking, Brandon, we had the request to have the manually setting PIS map.
That's in the next time you start a service.
Oh, next time we start service. Okay, fine. So it's next time we start station.
Oh, yeah. I misunderstood too. The light baking was another thing that got completely redone on all the underground sections. So Atlantic Terminal, the East River Tunnels, Penn Station, West Side Yard, all of those underground areas all had the light baking redone.
Actually, yeah, good shout. Penn Station had quite a lot of work done on it because of the problems with overlapping platforms and pillars and so forth. And I'm not going to say we got it perfect, but I think we've covered the vast majority of the problems that were in there now. It's much, much better than it was. But that whole thing got relight baked as well.
Few requests, Matt, to when we get started again, to view from outside of the train, so we can hear it from the outside of the train.
All right, I'll do it. You told me just as I was speeding up, so we'll do that next time.
Sorry. Yes. Also, I don't know if we do want to do a little interior run as well at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe when we pull into Penn Station, we could take a little walk through. I just don't want him to be too late, because then he'd be missing out on some of the interesting things of the scenario, or the service rather.
That is a teaser, if ever I heard one.
Eddie did a great job picking out these services. Like, there's some interesting stuff. It's pretty cool, and this is just one example of many services that have interesting things. Like, you'll be paralleling trains for miles. It'll kind of be like a race down the main line. There's a bunch of interesting stuff.
Yeah,
that you guys
when I ran it earlier on, I saw
explore.
that.
Joel C's asked, do you need the original Long Island route to enjoy this? No. I think, as I say, what this is a completely kind of new experience. Hopefully, what you're seeing is a new experience for. You wouldn't necessarily need to have the old Long Island to be able to do that. I think it might enable a couple of layers, but I don't think it's by any means a prerequisite.
Yeah, I think the old Long Island only affects layers on Trenton,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, yes,
right.
that's correct. Yeah, I've got that wrong. Yeah, it is, of course, it's only on Trenton, yeah. You don't need Long Island 1 to use the M3. You can get the M3 separately if you want. I think there might actually be a Steam bundle that we're going to put live, which has got the M3 with Long Island if you want to get them both together, I think.
Oh, that's nice.
Right, should we shush so we can listen to the motors?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of love for that, Matt. Lots of love for that. I see a lot of people saying they love the motor sounds, which is good. And there was a really nice comment about the bogies as well. Sierra Oscar 95 said, an odd comment. I don't think it's that odd. But the bogies on the unit look superbly modelled and detailed.
Yeah, they look good.
Lord Tacticus says, I will say, Matt is more aggressive on the braking than your standard Long Island engineer.
There's going to be a lot of flat spots on those wheels.
I'm fine with
that.
That's another thing. The running sounds. No, you're good. The running sounds, you guys will notice as you pay close attention to them, there's a little bit of simulated flat spot sound as you're running, because the wheels aren't perfectly true. So I like that effect, because you hear that a lot in real life.
a couple of questions about suspension simulation. As far as I'm aware, Matt, this won't launch with suspension simulation. It's still being worked on as a core thing at the moment.
Correct.
We'll have more updates for you in the roadmap. Just a quick mention of the roadmap. Whilst it's on the tip of my tongue, because of things like bank holidays and holidays and things like that, the roadmap for May will be on Thursday the 9th of May, rather than the Tuesday the 7th, I think. So it would be on Thursday the 9th. Alex is on holiday next week, and I want to try and make sure he can actually enjoy his holiday.
So this is where the Long Beach branch, sorry JD, this is where the Long Beach branch meets up with the Montauk branch, and they run parallel all the way until, well, Rosedale or Laurelton. So they'll split off again.
Raw DC asked, in terms of the sound recordings, are they synthesized or were they recorded from the real deal?
So we didn't get access to the real deal. I actually am not sure where they're not synthesized. I have a sneaky suspicion that we worked with other people that are local to get hold of sounds, but I don't know what the source of those are. We didn't, certainly Dovetail did not get access to the trains, unfortunately.
We used our vast network of enthusiasts and aficionados to help us out, which again, I think this feels like a really collaborative route. I think there's loads of people that have inputted into this and given a lot of love to it. So again, hopefully you're enjoying it so far, because it feels really like a team effort, this one.
Brandon, if you can just ping the Discord and see if they can give us an answer to that question before we finish, that would be really cool, because they might know.
As far as sound sourcing?
I think I know who it is, but I don't want to say the name because I might be wrong. So
yeah. All right, I'll ping him right now. 1 sec.
Question on the well, actually, there's a couple of questions on things like free roam and compatibility with different routes. So, will the M3's cab signalling work properly on the updated signalling on the route, given that the M3 hasn't been updated?
The M3 did get updated, but it was quite a while ago. I remember when everyone started thinking, hang on, there's a new Long Island coming.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, it did get updated, but silently in the background, or so we thought.
We haven't made a big
so
deal
that's
out
why.
of it,
Yeah, people were speculating like, oh, that depot got updated, so this kind of confirms all the rumors about Long Island. So.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, that was interesting.
We updated the M3 quite some time ago. Part of that was fixes to cab signalling and so forth, but also it also got the wheel blur fixed onto it at the same time, and we also did the coupling so that you didn't need to own layer to use the M3. And this is why.
Yeah, the cat was well and truly out of the bag, I think, at that point.
Yes.
And the other thing was, given that the safety systems are on by default on the M9 and the updated M7, will they work on free roam mode?
No. Well, you can spawn them, but the free roam the safety systems are always on, which in the absence of ATC and access impulses from the track is going to put you always at a 15 limit, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything we can do about that.
No, there are two different implementations for the cab signaling. The way I did it, it's the same way it's done for Boston, but the way Dovetail has done it is the way it's done on Harlem and Trenton. So they're two different implementations, and they're not exactly backwards compatible with one another.
Yeah, so free roam is unfortunately going to be a little bit awkward with this because of those requirements.
Can you therefore put other
You can
trains
put anything
onto
on here.
Yeah, it's just the other way around.
It's just these trains. I mean, these trains again will spawn anywhere, but go slowly. It's because of the safety systems. But yeah, you can spawn. In fact, one of the things that Eddie was doing quite a lot, and I'm encouraging him to write something up to go as a Dovetail Live article, is he was experimenting with spawning the Antelope Valley Metrolink diesel trains, which look a little bit like the diesel trains that run here. And he was spawning them at the right point at the right moment, and then driving services that were really done by the diesel trains in and amongst the electric timetable that was going on. And he said it worked beautifully. Yeah, really interesting. Obviously, it's completely the wrong train. It's not that they don't run the F125 here, but it looks the part. It looks really good. So it's and it allowed that sort of extra experience, which is really cool.
Yeah, you guys probably noticed that a Babylon train just passed us on the right. You'll see a lot of that stuff. The traffic really picks up as you get closer and closer to Jamaica. It's kind of the de facto hub for the LIRR.
There's a question in the chat I've just lost now. Golden Ticket asked about any third rail electrical sparks.
So I checked in with the team earlier on because there should have been, but there isn't. So I'm raising that as a bug to get fixed at some point. But as of this moment, there isn't, and they won't be on release.
Cool. Thank you. I'll grab a few from the forum threads that we released earlier as well. Thanks everybody for your questions so far. I don't know if will we go past the abandoned Woodhaven station?
The second service will be
next
going past it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll save that.
Someone
question.
remind me when we get near it, and I'll try and stop, and we can go and have a quick look around.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take a look then. That was one of the questions. We'll come on to signalling a bit later when we've done this service. Someone's asked a question about planes. And whether we will see planes arriving or departing at JFK will be whilst being at Rosedale or Laurelton Station.
I'm just seeing if I stop on time at this station. I completely lost track of what I was doing. Okay, looks like we're all right. So airplanes. So airplanes. We wanted there to be airplanes in the route, but I didn't want to use the slightly weird ones we've used in the past, which everyone loves and adores, that don't look anything like real planes. Unfortunately, the licensing process with Airbus took a bit longer than I would have liked. But we now have licensed airplanes to use in the game, which is great. But they missed this route, unfortunately. So I'm not going to promise they're going to be added to this route. So just to be clear, they're not coming to this route. But at least we've hopefully got something solved for the future. So yeah, didn't quite end up where I wanted it to be, but it's got us in the right place to have really cool looking aircraft going forward with a range of Airbus.
Cool. Okay. Just trying to go through because some of these have already answered. Golden Ticket asked, will the MTA logo be available for use inside Livery Designer? I don't believe so. No. Unfortunately. How many spawn locations will we get in Scenario Planner? We will show that towards the end of the stream.
Aerocentric, the M3 is not affected. No, the M3 has disabled safety systems, but that you can manually enable.
So I believe this service after Laurelton is express all the way to Penn Station. Can you press T and confirm that, Matt?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we do a go via, and then we're all the way to Penn Station. I ran it earlier on as well. It's where we split off, the other line there.
Yep.
Daniel's asking, can we see you interact with the door panels?
Yeah, sure.
Joshua Atkins asks, are there AI layers at Penn Station?
Static.
I believe so.
You'll see
Static,
NJT
yeah.
trains in there. I don't think there's any Amtrak in Penn Station, but there is NJT trains in there.
I think there's also on the sunny side there will also be the Acela as well, I think, if you own the Acela, as well as also the NJ Transit stuff. But
Rage
yeah, it's all
Rhino, why is Xbox Series S classed as a 9th gen when it has a 9th? It's a 9th gen console. It is not a 9th gen console. It's technically a 9th gen console, but does not actually have the gutso to actually stand up to being a 9th gen. It doesn't have the memory, is the problem. And because it's running high def textures, high def models, and so forth, so it's got the visual fidelity of 9th gen. It means it's using up loads and loads of memory, and then they put less than Gen 8 memory in the console. So we found that basically impossible to work around. So going forwards, we will be cheating the Series S from a timetable perspective like it's Gen 8. We'll still be getting the high def textures and so forth, but it'll be getting the Gen 8 timetables. And the Gen 8 and Gen 9 timetables are completely different in this instance. The Gen 8 timetable is quite significantly smaller than the Gen 9 timetable, again, because of the frame rate capability. You're talking about machines which are much, much older, and again, the Series S is not much older, but it is a lot lighter machine than the Series X is in all dimensions. So it's not a Gen 9 machine. I wish they hadn't done that, to be honest. It just confuses people.
Yeah, Spall's over 10 years old now.
Exactly. It's amazing, actually, and it's still a surprisingly good machine.
Yes. Oh, can we see the insides? Oh no. We're okay. Next station. We're going to do. Have we got another station to see the inside of the interior of the train?
Next stop is Penn.
Next stop is Penn. Okay, we'll do it at Penn then, because that way it won't get in the way of all of the full flows going on from here onwards.
Don't want to stop you in your berth, Matt.
I'm doing well. I've not missed a single station yet. You know,
No?
come close
Well,
once.
there was no sarcasm in my voice whatsoever.
I got an answer about the sound sourcing, by the way, if you care to hear it.
Go for it.
Yes.
So Reese got back to me and said that the M9 was a mixture of sounds that we'd been given by somebody local, and then using some M7 sounds where applicable, and then the running sounds were from the ROTEMs.
Okay, so it's a mix of things. It's
it's a
different
mashup.
things. So, but yeah, I know for all the Long Island stuff, we've relied very, very heavily on local support. So, big shout out, big thank you for everybody that's been helping us. And also a big shout out to the team who have done what they've been able to do with it. It's we've had a lot of really, really positive feedback from the beta team about what they're enjoying and what they've liked, and hopefully you'll enjoy it too. So minor panic there. Back up to
You thought you were going to miss a station stop?
I was absolutely going no.
No, we're not stopping at Locust Manor.
And we're all hoping, beyond hope, that you overshot Matt.
Your support is appreciated.
But you
Where's
missed me,
Alex?
Matt. You've
Where's
missed me.
Alex? When's Alex coming back? I did. It's really good to have you back, JD. Just to be clear.
Thank you. It's good to be back. I enjoy doing
Everybody missed you.
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I've tried to sort of take a conscious step back a little bit so that I can help the rest of the team a little bit more without having to do bits, without sort of being on the front line, so to speak, as often. Alex is doing a really great job. But he's on holiday next week. I thought, you know what? It seems like a good opportunity to jump back in, show my face for all of 2 minutes before we then kill the face cams, and then have a little chat with everyone. It's nice to do this kind of thing.
Yeah. So that drop in cab aspect from 80 to 70, you might think, oh, I'm following something, and you very well could be, but that's a predetermined drop as you're approaching Jamaica, and there's a lot of areas like that where you'll have cab signal drops.
Yeah, because it's about to get a lot slower as we go, because we're hitting the busy bit here, aren't we?
Yeah, like you'll just learn from memorization that the next track circuit will drop you to 40, and then there's another track circuit that drops you to 30, like every time. So, gives you guys an opportunity to memorize things.
But just to be clear, you don't need to memorize anything. Just do what it says on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a daunting safety system. This is not PZB. This is actually really easy. Just put the brake on, press
really
acknowledge,
simple.
wait until you're below the speed, and then you can release the brakes again. There's no memorizing.
For you too.
It does actually, yeah. It shows that in the video as well. I'll try and show it here as well. So if I speed up now over the limit.
Well, you're gonna get dropped to a 30 code at that track circuit anyway.
All
So
right. We'll not be quite so naughty just yet. So we're doing 38 at the minute. There's the 30. Brake, acknowledge. If you're thinking, but if you can't release the brakes until you get to the limit, you're always going to under brake. That's fine. That's how it works. So in the video that's coming, I talk about the difference between the ATC limits, the access limits, the speed limit, the track shows, because essentially they're all going to show different things, and what you do, why it's set that way. And the simple instruction is follow the lowest, bluntly.
Yep. Approach signal at Hall. So if you have an approach signal there, that means the next signal is either stop or restricting.
This is always fun because we've got to go crawl up this steep hill. Fun little anecdote for you.
Steep.
The original Long Island Railroad, the original Long Island Railroad. Because I did the timetable originally for the Long Island, and my timetable never got released because I could never make it work. But there was an interesting little problem where trains would come up to here and get and sit on a signal, and then they'd never move again. And in the logging and the debugging, I was looking at it. I was just like, it says it's moving. It's got a target speed of whatever. It's not going anywhere. Want to know what it was? When they looked at it, the engineers, they found that what was happening was that the trains couldn't hill start on a gradient of that step, about how steep that was. The train was basically releasing its brakes, falling back a bit, panicking, putting its brakes on, and just doing that constantly.
Yeah. All right, so we just passed a restricting signal, and this is a common occurrence at Jamaica, especially during like the rush hour, where you'll follow another train into the platform. You're probably going to want to stop outside the platform, not like pull in too close.
Let's go and have a look at PIS while we're waiting, though.
Yeah, you might have a little wait. Yeah, that's fine.
So it's a different type of PS, and this is PIS, and this is actually a colour one as well. There you go, look.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
And what happens is the top bar, when it shows the route name, is coloured according to the colour of the route as well. I'll see if I can find another one. We've got these ones over here. I'm not sure what else we've got. There's lots of them. Those ones. We wanted to get the big ones in up there, but we weren't able to get those in. There was quite a lot of work spent on PIS on this route to get it as close as we could.
Suggesting tracks 5 to 8. Let's see if there's anything on there.
Looks like there's something on 7.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so he's pulling away now, so you're free to pull through. Just be very vigilant about your next signal.
Yep.
Because likely going to be a stop.
Oh, you can see we've got two units dead at the minute. There you go. That one's powered back up again. It doesn't really mean anything, except you will feel the power a little bit dropping and pulling and going away. All of this power is actually powering motors, which are really, contributing to your motion. But it doesn't make a huge difference. It's just fun to see.
Yeah, I don't think you'll gap the train in the game, but I've heard stories in real life of engineers gapping the trains, and they have to kind of get like pushed out.
If I remember rightly, isn't Long Island City one of the few places where that can potentially happen in reality, because there's some really long sections there, long gaps coming out of Long Island City. I'm sure someone said that to me. Most places the gaps are, because the power is consistent across the train, so as long as 2 cars of the train are powered, the rest of the train gets power. But I seem to remember at Long Island City up here, There's a
It could
section
be.
around here which is you have to be a little bit more careful with.
Dean asks, are there any collectibles?
There are, but I can't remember what they are.
We got the route map.
I know one of them is what is it? Refilling bagel stands or something?
Oh, the
That's
bagel
so New
stands.
York.
Yes.
All right, what signal you got there? Looks like a restricting. Yeah, restricting.
Liam's asked,
Just upgraded to slow approach.
Liam's asked, Brandon, this might be one for you because I think you used the term. What does it mean to gap a train?
So, gapping it would be, so you see those gaps in the third rail there? If there's a big enough gap and your train is short enough, you'll get the whole train stuck in an area with no third rail, and it's called gapping the train.
Imagine if you were stopped at that moment, that would be it. The train wouldn't be able to move. It's like you technically gap when you go through a neutral section on overhead wires. If you stop at the exact moment on a neutral section, you've not got power, which is one of the reasons they tend to try and put neutral sections on a gradient so that you can release the brakes and roll through it. But otherwise than that, you're down to somebody else giving you a push to get you through it.
Yeah.
You see, we've got a much bigger neutral section gap here. Look.
Yeah, there was a pretty big one back there.
They don't have 4-car trains, because the minimum they run are 6, but if you can imagine if they had a 4-car train there, that train could easily gap.
Yeah, you'd have to have some momentum to carry you.
Yeah.
It seems like you've got a pretty good variety of different things. You have to stay quite vigilant, obviously, as you're going through Long Island, and there are trains that will be immediately in front of you. There will be ones that are coming up behind you. It feels like it's very busy, quite congested, and kind of the networker experience, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's an electric commuter experience fundamentally, and it works on that. So you've got lots of start-stop. There's lots of express running on this actually. Like, this is a non-stop run, and there's other runs where you'll run on the more consistent high-speed runs on the main line over to Hicksville. So there's one of the things that have always appealed to me about this route, even before we've done the new extension, was just the variety. It kind of got lots of different things on it that you can do. It's not like every train is stopping at every station. Almost every service pattern is different.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Not every run is just the same thing. You can always expect a little bit of variety each time you choose a service.
Apparently, you should have opened your window, Matt, on the left.
I should have opened my window.
Left, yeah.
Why?
I think I can. Yeah, why?
J-line subway, I think.
Are they trolling you? I don't know.
Quite possibly.
Oh, you mean there's the subway down there, isn't there? It's not. I don't think the subway's actually modelled.
Apparently the sound.
No, just the tracks.
Just yeah.
So it's a pretty common occurrence that if you're running express through this area, they'll throw you on the inside tracks, tracks 1 and 2. Sometimes if you're express and there's just a lot going on, you'll get thrown on one of the outside tracks, in this case, track 3. But usually you'll be like right where we are now.
Well, Matt, question on the M7. We've obviously talked about PIS quite a lot. Has the M7 been updated?
It has. We'll show you shortly.
Cool.
Yeah, the next service has an M7, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, we wanted to make sure you see both of both of the trains and a selection of the route, not just the new train and the new bit of the route. We'll show you everything.
Was any of the scenery touched up in this area? I genuinely don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
Bits and pieces, nothing significant. The biggest changes that happened up here were the night lighting, because it was almost non-existent night lighting, to be honest, on the Long Island previously. So I'd set one of the main goals for the team was to rectify that for this release.
And we will come back to night lighting in the third service that I think we'll do.
Yep.
Do a short one.
Not just night lighting, but fog as well.
Night lighting and fog, yeah. So you can see the volumetric fog as well, which is obviously one of the TSW4 key features as well. Lightning Bolt asks question: How fast can the M9 go? Obviously
80 in service, max design speed of 100.
Not too far off then.
I believe they tried to petition the Federal Railroad Administration to go faster than 80, and they're like, no, the track quality is not good enough for it. So,
Okay.
80 it is.
Yeah, gotta be safe first and foremost, haven't you?
Yeah. So that cab drop to 70 is another one of those hard-coded drops that you're always going to encounter. So if you can brake in advance of it, you avoid that harsh braking. And people in real life, the engineers in real life, brake in advance of these drops in the goal of passenger comfort. So you might want to do the same, or not. It's up to you.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's good little hint there, I think.
What's that signal up there? Approach medium. What's going on, JD?
No, I was just gonna ask, because obviously we had you on the stream for the Trenton stream over a year ago now, and a lot of people within the community will know you as cAcTuSjUiCe and kind of the work that you've kind of put in and the expertise that you have. But just for those people who perhaps aren't quite as familiar with your background and kind of why you might be on the stream tonight, I think it'd be really good to just give a little bit of an introduction to you and kind of your background with Long Island, with signalling, with generally just, I guess, rail fanning.
Yeah, sure. So I've been playing train sims for a long time. I think starting with Train Sim 2012, something like. No, actually, Microsoft Train Simulator as a kid, and then I picked up Railworks later on. But I've only been developing since about 2016, 2015, and joined the beta team in 2018. Matt invited me personally, and I have helped out with Train Sim Classic projects, Train Sim World projects. I did, Baltimore to Washington. I did signaling and track for that. Long Island Railroad for Train Sim Classic, track and signaling. Boston Sprinter for TSW, track and signaling. Now this, signaling. So, a lot of signaling stuff. And I've been kind of a avid fan of anything infrastructure related, so the safety systems, how I just like learning how things work, and trains I've always found fascinating. So it's kind of a nice benefit to do what I like to do as a hobby and get paid for it now too, which is cool.
Yeah, we're very grateful. So I think you can see already that there's a massive marked improvement will come to signalling when we sort of go between the next service. We'll have a bit more of a breakdown on it, but it's good to know from kind of what you've worked on in the past, and as I say, you've got an awful lot of credibility to be able to say that something is, if something's good, it is probably good. If it's bad, I'm sure you'll let us know.
That's my job as a beta tester.
I know that you have done as well, so.
Oh yeah.
Brandon does not hold back, which is good. It's what we want. It's what we need as well, let alone what we want. It's what we need.
It's constructive criticism, though. I don't berate.
Exactly that.
There's a difference. Sometimes I get angry, but I won't berate. I'll treat you like a human.
Someone's asked, will the M7, M3 and M9 lay it onto New York Trenton? I don't believe Trenton's getting any updates alongside this. I think the time table's already bursting at the seams at Trenton, so
Well, no, one of the things we've been talking about doing is whether or not we will be able to make a copy of the Trenton timetable that replaced the Long Island commuter trains instead of the ones that there are currently. But we have no plans to actually do that at the moment, because then you wouldn't need to go on the old LIRR route to be able to get those traffic in there. But like I said, we have no plans to actively do that. This is the missing bridge that's been added.
Yes, yep. So that's the 7 line, I believe, that goes over, as well as there's some road traffic underneath it as well.
And this is some traffic sitting here in Sunnyside.
Yeah, that looks nice. So it looks like we're being directed down East River Tunnels Line 2, which isn't an uncommon occurrence. Typically, Long Island sticks on 6 to 4, which is the one track over to the right. Amtrak stays on 2. But in times of congestion, I mean, it's fair game.
Yeah, so from when I remember working on the original timetable, the Long Island traffic, it goes where it needs to go. It goes across all of them. But yeah. Normally it's on the right-hand side, but sometimes it's on the south.
Joe had a hard time understanding that. He's like, no, but I'm looking at everything, and Long Island Railroad's supposed to go down line 4. And I'm like, Joe, you gotta put it where it needs to go to get it in the station. You can't just not use a tunnel just because it doesn't seem right. He's like, oh, okay.
Is this some of the light baking that we were talking about as well earlier?
Everything from here on in essentially is all a brand new light bake. Cut the lights down to a bit of see it a bit better, but yeah, it's all new light baking.
Yeah.
Well, I like the effect of the lights just then, as we were going past, sort of the greeny red light, almost sort of coming into focus. That was good.
Yeah, I brought those signals over from Trenton. So those were made for Trenton at my request, and then I brought them over into here. You need the ones with the extra light in order to display all the aspects that you need in the tunnels. Because there's some special flashy ones, like you see right here, advance approach. The flashing yellow. So if you get advance approach here, you know you're following something. Like, that's without a doubt.
I just can't believe how sort of busy it is and how much stuff, and yet they managed to make it work. It just feels like I know we called it like a beautiful mess earlier, but it does feel like there's a lot of things going on that could potentially go wrong, but somehow it never seems to.
Oh, it did. Believe me, there were a lot of things that Joe and I had to tweak back and forth during development. I had to tweak just a little thing about a Penn Station signal so he could get some trains to move, and it was a big back and forth for a while. I don't mean that in like fighting type of way, but oh, I'm trying this, it failed here, let's try this. All right, let's resimulate the timetable, wait 2 hours. It was just a lot of back and forth in that way.
Question there, how do you know if it's an ATC or an access alert? The short answer is it doesn't matter. But basically, if you get this is your ATC, if this light changes, then it's an ATC, and if this speed changes, then it's access. But honestly, the alarm goes off. Find out what you should be dropping to, and then drop to it. Don't worry about it. Don't get lost in the detail.
All right, so you got to stop and it's a stop and proceed. So you're getting dropped to a 15 code right before it. You can, if you zoom in a bit, you can make it easier for the viewers to see the train in front of you. So the train in front of you is occupying the next signal block. You technically could proceed past the stop and proceed and crawl right up to him. Most people wouldn't, but it's totally up to you. You have the freedom. You're allowed to pass that signal if you want, after coming to a complete stop, that is.
I won't. I'm just going to sit here.
Yeah, just throw it into max brake and just chill. Put your feet up.
Yeah, just going up into the distance.
Yeah, it might take him a minute or two to move. I don't know if you wanted to show off anything else. Did the viewers have anything else they wanted to see in the meantime, JD?
We could do a quick little interior view of the... I don't know if you've got time to do that, Matt.
Maybe like a minute.
Oh yeah, PIS setup as well. Do we say we do that at the start of this next service map?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so he moved past the next signal, so this upgraded to an approach.
Someone asked if I could have passed the double red. Yes, as Brendan was saying earlier on, they're not considered SPADs. They're SPAD signals. They're just stop and proceed.
Yeah, and it just comes with route knowledge to know the distinction between what's an absolute stop versus a stop and proceed. In this area between Penn Station and Woodside, if it has a number plate and it's not protecting a junction, like a crossover, then it's generally regarded as a stop and proceed.
GTSM asks, what if you don't stop and you keep going?
You'll hit the train in front.
There's no penalty. Yeah, I mean, there's no penalty. It doesn't check to see that you've come to a complete stop. It's just part of the operating rules that you have to do that.
Nudge the other train.
And got a restricting signal here, and the reason for that is the train in front of you. So you're allowed to pass through a restricting signal, but you need to be prepared to stop short of any obstruction, stop signals, stuff like that. So this is what JD was talking about before, where this route has a lot of elements that require you to be more vigilant than you perhaps would be on another more casual route.
I mean, it's one of the reasons that the Long Island asked us to make the safety systems on all the time, because without a lot of the stuff in the speed changes is only going on in the cab signalling, and so if you're not aware of it, we know this from seeing it on Harlem and from the original Long Island, you'll just see people crashing into the trains in front, getting really confused and frustrated with it, thinking, why didn't I know that? And actually you did. It was telling you, but it wasn't really making a big deal out of it. So that with the safety systems on, then you're actually getting a more full understanding of what's going on, how things work, and actually it's which is fine. This is not like turning PZB on, which would then make German trains undrivable for the vast majority of certainly non-Germans. This is really straightforward. This is really straightforward. So if you're worried about the fact that it's turned on, please don't be. It won't take you long to figure it out.
Yeah, it's not something to be afraid of. And if you have questions, just ask, honestly. Like, reach out on the Dovetail forums, and we'll answer your questions. It's not a problem.
Yeah, and as ever, we'll have a feedback thread as well once we launch the route too, so you can let us know what you think on there as well. And if you've got any questions, anything that you're not sure about, we'll do our best to help and support. Dean said this tunnel must be hell for claustrophobics. Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's a bit darker in real life. But
Make it worse, I think, wouldn't it?
I don't know, would it?
We'll have to have a look. Transportation network. I can't remember what services there are for the MV. I don't know if you know, Brandon, whether the question is, does it have any Atlantic Jamaica type services? I know we've not implemented, I think, the Atlantic Jamaica shuttles, which is a feature of the way that, because you need there's an extra platform in Jamaica now for that, which isn't on this route.
Yeah, platform F, I think. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of services that operate to and from Atlantic Terminal that pass through Jamaica and make stops there, if that's what you're referring to. But as far as like dedicated Atlantic to Jamaica and then back to Atlantic, I'm not sure.
Don't think so, because that's a feature of the revision once they added the new platform in. And that changed everything. So I don't think anything from Atlantic anymore goes anything other than the shuttle, does it?
I'm not entirely certain, honestly.
Screech, screech, screech.
Yeah.
We have very nearly arrived.
Sure have. There's your slow approach. So you know the next signal is going to be a stop. And then that's it. This next signal is not a stop and proceed because it's protecting a junction. Even though it has a number plate, it's protecting a crossover, so regard it as an absolute stop signal. That's kind of the distinction.
Yeah, Matt, you might be early here, which is a shocker.
Oh no.
He's right on time.
I'm not saying that Eddie sent me threats earlier on saying you better get on time or else. Look, LIRR run an on-time service.
They run a tight ship.
Not when I'm doing it, they don't.
Yeah, that was funny.
Eddie and I have a fun relationship. It's been working with Eddie's actually been a real pleasure. Same as yourself, Brandon. It's this has just generally been a really fun product to work with and to develop. So it's we've got a really good, interested team working on with this. I mean, I brought on some extra beta testers. Eddie was one of them from the community, so that we could really try. I realised that we didn't have enough American representation on the beta forum, so I brought 4 or 5 new beta testers on, specifically looking for American participation, and that's really helped. I mean, absolutely, this product is better because of that participation on the beta forum.
Yeah, absolutely. Eddie, we keep giving him kudos and shout outs. It's well deserved. Like, he came onto the team and immediately just started testing and submitting so many. I don't even want to know how many bugs are reported by him in Jira. Like, it's probably a disgusting amount.
Right, so we're going to.
But it's good. That's why we're here.
Exactly. So we're going to run on to service 150 now.
Yeah. You do that. I'm just going to grab some more water because I ran out of water in my water bottle. And I'll be right back.
Just checking the conditions and so forth that are on here. JD's already written a thing in here saying manually set PIS. Look at that. I'll put this one on some clouds. And we'll get going. Oh, we were going to look at Penn Station. Okay. JD, but let's make that a quick wander round at the end. If you're talking, JD, I can't hear you.
I've been talking to myself for the last minute because I've muted myself. Yes, I will add that to the script at the end. Hey, it's been a long time.
Right, here, put it on max break. Let's, before Brandon comes back and tells me off again, let's work out how we turn the lights on properly this time. Just put dim lights on for the time being, and marker lights off. Right, get the doors open. This is Penn Station. So fundamentally it's the same. We haven't remodeled Penn Station. What we've done is we've gone through and tidied up all the platform edging, tidied up pillars, tidied up walls, with a view to getting rid of all of the overlapping and so forth that was present previously. So you should find it just fundamentally similar to what was there, but tidier now. Got PIS here at Penn Station. Let's have a quick look at the M7. So This is the M7 as it stands. You'll notice we're not showing anything. What I should be able to do down here, we are train 18. So what I should be able to do, I thought I said 150. Why is it loaded? Is this correct? New York Penn to Babylon. This is not the right train. I must have clicked the wrong one.
I think this was the right train. I'm not too sure where you got Atlantic from, but I have train 150. Yeah. It was the one going from Penn to Lynbrook.
Right, okay. I panicked then.
I mean, if people want to see Atlantic Terminal, maybe we could just do a quick on-foot spawn just to show people.
I see,
and
it
then
says
hop
Atlantic
into
Terminal.
150.
That's where I got that from.
I was going to say why are we at Penn at this stage, but fine.
Is it? Okay, I'm just misremembering. I'm sorry. Don't mind me. I didn't sleep very well last night.
Yeah, Brandon and I, before we went live, were talking about our respective nights of lack of sleep woe beforehand. So for those people who were worried about my bedtime, keep worrying.
Right, put it on
Yeah,
dim
you're going to be a
lights.
zombie tomorrow.
I
Put it
will
on
be,
marker
yeah.
lights. Right, now, okay, so get the doors open, and then down here, I press T, we're train 150. Brilliant. So you click train number, and then you type 150, and you press OK, and then you wait, and it does its query back to the servers or whatever, and then after a little bit it gets its response, and off you go. We've now got information showing there, and in here you're now showing your PIS information. There isn't PIS on the front on this one, it's just on the sides. But you've also now got your information showing up on the display over here. We've got a warm car, let's just acknowledge that, I think. I'll come back to main screen, there we go. You'll get random faults come up, they don't actually mean anything.
I think the community will really like the toilet exhaust fan fault. They seem to be obsessed with the toilet stuff.
Yes, there's lots of random faults come up. They don't mean anything, but they're just you can ignore the trouble screen if you want to, or go and clear the faults off. It's up to you.
Can we see the platform BIS again, please, Matt, as well?
Yeah, that's what people are asking for.
Ta-da.
Oops. I didn't see that.
Stupid Unreal.
There's lots of requests for the bathrooms, Matt.
Yeah, there can be requests. There are no bathrooms. Okay, the bathrooms are locked.
Alright, looks like we're ready to depart.
This is the most fun you will ever have in a train simulator. Driving at 5 miles per hour for the rest of your life. It will feel like that. But it's fine. It doesn't last forever.
I feel like it's a further distance for Long Beach, getting out of Long Beach Yard, honestly, than it is here. Yeah, we're not gonna deafen people. Alright, got a restricting signal, which is all you're gonna get leaving Atlantic Terminal. It's never better than a restricting.
I just deafened everyone on the underground. I did, but I'm letting me chat, so that's fine. I'm out of lane.
After we told you not to, Matt, as well. We're just thinking of the passengers. Odin says, at least we were going 5 miles an hour in a pretty cool train.
Yeah, absolutely. This is another area that was all rebaked as well from scratch, because there's a number of tidy ups and changes done on this model as well, just to improve the way it looks, and if you make any changes it all needs relive baking, so that was all redone.
Richie Relos, is there a reason why it's 5 mph? leaving these stations? I guess it's just safety, right?
It's the nature of the crossovers and the close clearance to the walls and stuff like that. It's just a small confined space, but it's mostly due to the yard switches.
From what I remember hearing from it had been faster previously, but there was an incident, and one of the outcomes of that incident was that you know, how can we make this not happen again, and or better, you know, make sure that it's not as bad if it does happen again. And one of those was to limit the speed.
Yeah.
I mean, most things on the railway are because of something that's happened.
Yeah. And James is in the chat. Hello, James. Moorman. Apparently, any faster in the tunnel is so tight, you would lateral forces would have us scraping the side of the walls as well.
Doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not all that bad, though. As you can see right there, the cab's upgraded to 30 once you leave Rook 1. And then once the whole train clears that point, you're kind of good to accelerate.
Eddie Hartsfield has asked, have there been changes to foliage density?
I don't think so.
So we're running an 8-car train today, just for your situational awareness. It's nicer running these shorter trains out of Atlantic Terminal,
Yeah,
because then you can start speeding up faster.
Like I said, it feels like it lasts forever, but it really doesn't. It's not. We've actually not done that far.
No, and
it will
it's not
imminently
much
go up.
further, and then you'll be able to get up to line speed almost.
It will get plenty of time, and what happens generally when I play this is it'll upgrade my speed to 30, and the next thing that happens is I miss Nostrand Avenue because I've been so overjoyed at being able to go fast.
Now, it'll slow you down. Like, the signals are really, really aggressive in here to bring you down to that 30 miles an hour before that curve. Because if you take that curve much faster than 30, bad things will happen. So they program the safety systems to be like, yeah, you're going 30.
Over on the right we just passed, which is this yard here.
Yeah, Vanderbilt Yard.
It was liberating, doesn't it, after going slowly for so long, to just be able to like just done it for a little while.
Yeah.
MBTA video clips ask, what happens if you put the wrong train number in the PIS setup? Will it deny it or will it set the screens?
You get any? What happens is that query, pop that dialog box up saying I'm getting information. It comes back with an error code.
Right.
If you don't want to set the PIS, if you don't set the PIS, the minute you start moving, it will do it for you. So you'll still get the benefit of having working PIS on the train if you don't want to mess with that stuff.
That's good to know.
That light I see at the end of the tunnel, both metaphorically and physically. When we get out, I think it deserves a horn, Matt, when we get out. I think you can see quite clearly how obviously the Todd 4 experience has kind of changed that entrance, like that exit out of the tunnel, and kind of how that all looks from what you might be used to. Playing guitar, so you're unable to run free roam these EMUs on other routes or vice versa, other trains from let's say the UK and off the road, off the rails or free roam. I think we answered this earlier, but just to reiterate, you can use the M7 and the M9 from this add-on on other routes, but you're probably going to be limited to 15 miles an hour across the full route because it doesn't interact with the safety systems, sorry, the signalling systems. However, you can use other trains from your collection on this route without too many problems.
Right, let me just give that other train a minute to get out of the way, and then we'll do an accelerating like we did on the last one. We're on our way to East New York now.
Yeah, East New York is kind of unique in terms of signaling because it's one of the few areas where you'll have a 60 code in the cab, in the route. 60 code is used very, very seldom. You may have noticed in the previous service that we encountered it around like Oceanside. Aside from that, and here, it's seldom used. Just a fun fact. I don't know.
I promised everybody that we would chat to Brandon about signalling between the services, and then I completely forgot. So this feels like a good opportunity to talk a little bit more about the signalling on the route, Brandon, and kind of how it all fits together. Obviously, some of the trials and tribulations of implementing something like this and recreating it in game. But I kind of want to give you the open floor here to just talk a little bit about how when we've been working through this route, the signalling has been implemented.
Yeah, so the Long Island Railroad is, in my opinion, and a lot of other people will agree with me, the most complicated signaling system in the United States. And people are already very confused as to how the Americans do their signaling. So for Long Island to be like above and beyond the most complicated, it's quite daunting, even for somebody who's quite familiar with American signaling systems. So the biggest issue is there is no one-size-fits-all for each area. Each area has its own flavor, its own personality. And in order to capture that, I couldn't just write a universal script that is like, if this signal is doing this, then do this, always. It needed to be flexible enough for me to click on an individual signal and say, this is how you're going to behave. This is what you're going to do. So just to put it into perspective, there's around 1,900 signaling points on this route now. After I gutted it and relayed all the signaling. So I had to go into the majority of those and manually tell them what to do in every single circumstance. If the next signal is approach, be advance approach. With this outside pulse code, so cab signaling will do this beforehand. Are we switching here? Is the next block occupied in order for this to happen? Like, all these little checks and balances are done to ensure that each area's flavor and personality is accurately reflected. And it was a huge challenge.
I mean, just to put that 1,900 number into perspective, I think Munich might be the station with the most, and that's 3,000. So it's only 1,000 more than this. And Munich was insane. So that it just puts into perspective just how much work has gone into the signalling.
It's an incredible amount, and as I say, we've done a sort of lot of patting on backs in this stream, but I think it is important to kind of give credit where credit's due. And I think, as I say, it's a monumental kind of piece of work, I think, from Brandon and the rest of the team to get this into a place where, as you say, it looks like it's very much replicating what you would expect in real life, despite how complex and sort of spaghetti-like it can be.
Yeah, it's not like the Northeast Corridor where, let's say, an approach signal will always give you the same thing in the cab. On Long Island territory, when you pass an approach signal, you can have one of 3 cab values show up on the ADU, either 15, 30, or 40. So what do you apply? And it's all based on the situation. So that adds another layer of complexity. Clear doesn't always mean go as fast as line speed. Clear can be switching at 80 miles an hour, or switching at 70, or switching at 60. It's all over the place, man. Honestly, it's crazy.
Where's Woodhaven?
You got like another 1.5 miles, I think.
Woodhaven is the abandoned station that's been added, or has it always been there and we've just...
No, it's always been there, but not in the route. It's up sort of here-ish, isn't it?
I'm just guessing. I thought it was like a little bit further up.
Somewhere up here.
That's for certain.
It's definitely here somewhere.
My beady eyes out.
Doing 70 here, but we're going slow so we can stop. We're officially a ghost tour train. So I've seen screenshots of it, the art team sent me, but I've not actually been here in the game yet.
Nah, me neither. I didn't bother exploring it yet.
Just a couple of other bits and pieces. I think these were reflected in the article that we put out with the pre-order whilst we wait for Woodhaven to come up. In terms of services, there are some additional sort of special services to operate, including things like empty non-revenue trains and others requiring coupling as well. So there are some services that include those features. Each branch has 1 or 2 services heading in or out of Atlantic Terminal. Both tracks between Floral Park and Hicksville are used in the peak travel direction, and Jamaica Station has departures to platforms 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 and 8. Many of these departures simultaneous. So if you want action, Jamaica's your place to go.
Feels like this tunnel never ends.
Really? I guess at 70 it goes by a bit faster, to be fair. We're crawling so that we can see the abandoned station. It's getting dark up here.
I think it's going to be right
here
here,
it is.
yeah.
Here we go.
creepy. Ugh.
Nice graffiti there as well. It does feel like we're about to walk out into a horror film.
Is this where Pizza Rat lives? You guys ever seen that video of the rat in New York City subway dragging the slice of pizza up the stairs?
No, on I think Trenton we put Pizza Rat in Penn Station.
Yeah.
Or something akin to it. There's I think it's a family of rats around some slices of pizza.
I'm disappointed we didn't. By the sounds of things, we haven't put any collectibles in this station. We put any collectibles in here? I think we could have. I think then we could have put a bagel stall in here. Personally, the world's creepiest bagel stall.
Exactly where you'd find a bagel stall. The one. Oh no, there are a few working lights here. But yeah, this is the abandoned station. It was missed completely last time we did the route. So again, it was one of the things I said to the art teams, like we have to get this in, even though it's not a station you stop at. It is, if you know kind of thing, really. And if it's not there, it's painful in its admission.
But the passengers are like, what on earth is going on here? Why have we been left here in this abandoned station?
Right, let's get on with it.
Almost to Jamaica. Then you guys will get to see the other way to get to Valley Stream, which is the Montauk branch.
Woodhaven, I think, is served by Subway now. Isn't that the reason it shut down on the Long Island?
I don't know the history of it. Somebody in the chat was saying it shut down in the 60s, I think.
Yeah, I remember as well. I was
take
reading
them at
into
their
it.
word.
Back when we put the original route out and everyone said, where's Woodhaven? And I'm like, Woodhaven? Question mark? I went and had a look up for it. I'm sure there's a subway station at Woodhaven now.
Probably.
I.e. above us, not here.
Yeah, so access is kind of yelling at you because you have a permanent speed restriction of 45 once you hit the next interlocking. So it just requires that you, what did the manual say, at least 40% brake and acknowledge it, and you should be good.
See, I'm not trying to predict anything. I'm literally just following what it says on the screen, which is what I'm telling people. You know, you'll learn, how to predict and how to do things better. I'm doing this as a complete noob, just so that you can see that you don't have to have practiced, you don't have to have learned. You've just told everything that you need to do, and you can just react to it and keep your train going. I see a bunch of people saying, "Oh, I couldn't keep the Long Island trains going." This is really easy to keep going. It's going to take a bit of practice. The key thing to keep this train going is you kind of have to stay in the cab. You kind of can't be pressing the 8 camera and going and wandering around and stargazing. So yeah, and that's going to be the biggest sort of shift change. Is you've got to be the engineer, stay in that cab, drive that train, and what you'll find is it's incredibly immersive doing that, and hopefully it will encourage. Oh, look at this! Trains going under, over, and everywhere.
Oh yeah.
It will encourage you to try safety systems on other routes as well. It makes a huge difference to how it feels to drive the train.
Alright, you got a slow approach. And
There you go, I'm blowing a horn for the first time.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird spots where they have you blow the horn. I think it's just like confined areas where workers could be and stuff like that. I don't know.
Whistleboards was actually missed out, if I remember rightly, on the original Long Island. Again, it was one of those key points to make sure we don't miss them out again.
Yeah. That and the accurate placement of the stop car signs on the platform.
So for those who are looking out for what we are going to do next, we're going to do a night run where we're going to, with a bit of fog, we're going to go from Woodside to Penn with the M9, so you can see that in the dark, you can see the New York skyline. And we'll do, at the start of the guard scenario, we have scenario planner check-in, and I've got Penn Station run around as well that we've got on our schedule for today.
I think this train is express to Lynbrook after. Not too certain.
St. Albans,
oh, you got to
Lynbrook.
stop at St. Albans. That's another thing the community's been asking a lot about. They're so excited about St. Albans. They love it. I don't know.
It's a thing, isn't it? It's a thing. I'm gonna be, you know, being really upfront. For a little while there in the plans, this track wasn't there. We were just going to go down there, and then looking at the timetable, listening to, you know, the beta team, and basically them shouting and yelling and saying, "Are you stupid?"
I think I was one of them that was shouting
yeah.
and yelling.
Oh yeah, it was, you know. So that was corrected, and so forth. So, you know, again, big shout out to the beta team. They're making the products that you guys hopefully will enjoy. We're not going to get it right perfectly all the time because we don't have the local knowledge, and this is where actually pulling in community expertise and so forth, you know, between us we can make really, really fun stuff.
Exactly. Apparently Jolsey says St Albans has a great Locks cafe just outside the station, so the more you know.
What's a Locks cafe?
Locks is like a salmon thing, it's like a cured salmon thing, so I can only assume it's like a cafe that specialises in that.
Never heard of it.
Crazy Killers asks, are there any diorama editions?
I don't know is the answer to that one.
We added some new dioramas on Overground. I think it was a topic of the most recent roadmap. So if you want to take a look at that, there's some interesting stuff around new character dioramas and bits and pieces in there.
Yes, yeah, we're constantly looking to evolve the characters and add new things to them. In fact, well, there's a recent development. It's not present in Long Island, certainly at the moment. Maybe, hopefully, in an update in the later on. Is that so? We've added a lot of new stuff to the characters. But if you actually go and have a look at it, you'll notice that all of the cool new animations and cool new features are almost entirely on the male characters. And I was never happy with that. And there was a reason for it. It wasn't anyone making a decision. It was because there was something wrong with the what they call the rig for the female character. So yeah, happy to report that's now fixed. And Ollie, our character artist, is busy retrofitting all the female character with all of the new animations as well. So that's going to make a big difference in future products. I don't know whether that will come back to this or not, but hopefully it will. Generally, those modifications are done on a central character set, so they help all of the routes that character set is used on.
All right, so we're officially on the Montauk branch now. On the right, you have mainline tracks 2 and 4, and then on the left, you've got the other Montauk. Well, you got a stub track first, and then the other Montauk track, and then the other 2 mainline tracks that continue all the way to Hicksville. So there's kind of a lot going on here. And then to the extreme right are the leads going into Hillside Yard. So if you want to bring stuff in and out of Hillside Yard, those are the tracks that you'll be utilizing.
So much stuff going on.
Oh yeah, it's nuts.
Oh, where's we went past Jamaica? We've got a minute. Let's look and get back to it before I get in trouble. This was in the route before, but it's worth calling out in case you weren't aware of it previously. There's a building over here. Some of these tower blocks you'll notice are new compared to what was there, but there's a very important tower block back here, or sorry, a building back here. This is the old Long Island headquarters. This one, which, if I remember rightly, out here. Well, you can't see it, but this is the old Long Island headquarters office.
Oh, it just dumped on you.
Oh no.
That's okay.
We've
Just have to
done
reset
so
it.
well.
I was
hands up
showing
who
stuff.
had that. Hands up who had that on their bingo card.
So actually, I did that to demonstrate the fact that if you put it now in max brake, it will recharge the brake and we can get going from an emergency stop. See?
Did they buy that?
I don't think so, Matt.
Say yes. That might lend credence to it. Right, there we go. See, we're off. Perfect demonstration.
Elisa, say double duty will do after we've done the night run, which will be after we've done this one. So probably about another 40 minutes or so, something like that.
Yeah, I need to stay in the cab as well.
Stream.
Reinforces that you're driving with the safety systems on. You really do need to be in the cab because there's alarms going off all the time.
Yeah, we got our demonstration as expected. And Temple 7D said easiest brake reset ever. LOL. So yeah, don't be afraid of it.
It's really easy.
It's easy to recover from.
One thing I did notice though is when I was doing the video earlier on, and I covered this in that video, is that if you're in max brake at the point when you stop, you might have to take it out of max brake and put it back in again for the brake charge to trigger. So if you're wondering why brake charge isn't happening and you're in the right thing, just try wiggling the throttle back into max brake again, and that should rectify it.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll have to just kind of reset the master controller by throwing it into coast and then back to whatever position you were trying to get it into before.
This is where we get to the start to get to the new.
We're on the new bit now ever since we turned right there over the bridge.
Yeah.
Just for everyone's visibility.
Yeah, there's not much to it really. Just one station being St. Albans until you get to Valley Stream, where you merge up with the Atlantic Branch again. You'll pass by Laurelton and Rosedale, but you can't stop there on the Montauk.
Someone said something about PIS. Put it on max brake so we can go wandering. Nice.
ST.
I'm guessing that's meant to have Albans or something written on it. We'll have a look when there's not a name with a space in it and see if that's what the issue is there. Can you make a note of that one, Brandon, so we can have a look later?
Mm-hmm.
Present St. Albans next. St. Albans, because we're not left yet. Lock the doors.
Well, maybe it was due to the period in St. Albans.
Have I not locked the doors? Have I opened both the doors? I've opened both the doors. Whoa,
I've just never noticed that before.
whoa, donkey. There you go. Now it says go into Limbrook. There you go.
The sky is really, really nice. I love the lighting. This is what I was talking about with Todd for.
So Brandon, what is your favourite part of the new route? What would you say is your favourite thing about it?
I just like how busy it is now, and the variety of things that you can see. Yeah, no two services are going to look the same, whereas before it was kind of cookie cutter and generic. There's so much replayability, and that's a problem with a lot of Train Sim World routes, is people get bored very quickly. With this, there's a huge replayability factor, and I love it.
I think that's a very valid answer. Matt, how about yourself?
Favourite bit of the route? I don't have a favourite bit of the route, in all honesty. It's just, I enjoy the experience of driving the route. Anywhere on the route, because it adds, as Brandon was saying about the different character the signal brings into different areas, the different scenery you've got in the different areas, the different styles of driving you've got in the different areas. I keep coming back to this route, and I've always kept coming back to this route because of that variety, and because it fills so many different needs. Whereas so this is a many trick pony. It's it's really, really good fun. I probably, I quite enjoy the night lighting when the route environment team were showing me what they'd done with it, so I'm looking forward to showing that off as well.
Yes, I'm not sure what players would have seen much in the way of night lighting so far. I'm trying to think what we've shared thus far. I don't think they will. No, I think that's something that obviously we'll come into after we've finished this section. But I'm always a sucker for good night lighting. I remember when we did the preview, I think it was of Dresden, and it just blew me away with how good it was. So, say if Long Island can shape up as well, I think that would be very impressive.
I have to say, I do want to give a big shout out to the audio team and for everyone that helped them to get the sounds leveled up to the level of where they've got to, without being able to access recordings of the real thing, which is always really, really difficult. Yeah, really, really pleased where it's got to. Hope everybody else is as well.
Absolutely. I say, if anybody would like to know sort of the top level, or would like to see some nice screenshots, would like to see kind of I mean, obviously you're watching it right now, but we've got a couple of articles on the website which have got details, sort of the very sort of summary level details of the things you can expect with the route, and also, yeah, some nice screenshots that, as I say, you might be able to use some things like wallpapers if you want to, because some of them look stonking good.
Passing by Valley Stream. This is where the West Hempstead branch and Far Rockaway branch will split off. So Far Rock off to the right, West Hempstead off to the left.
Are we going all the way down to Long Beach on this service?
No, this is just going to Babylon. Not Babylon, it's going to... Where do we go as far as?
Lynbrook. So Lynbrook is the last station modeled on the Montauk branch before it terminates into a portal. But it would, in real life, continue east to Babylon.
This is your route map?
I was going to say, question for the route map, and I don't know if you're in a good enough spot to be able to do it, Matt, but it sounds like you're okay.
You're going to have some cab drops, just warning you, because the end of the line, there's always that stop signal at the very end of the service, you know.
going to make it my personal duty to give Matt the most complicated things to do as we're approaching speed changes and acknowledges and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So same as usual then.
Same as usual, yeah, pretty much. I like to challenge you. Something else that people might find interesting, actually. I'm not 100% sure it's absolutely happening yet, but I know the team are keen to do a 4-up challenge at some point in the nearish future. I know that Alex is trying to organise that at the moment, so I know there's been a bit of hiatus on them, but I think the team are trying to put together something for, I don't want to say for May, but because I'm not quite 100% sure, but I think they're looking to do something.
For this route?
Not for this route, but for I think they were looking at Overground, London Overground.
As long as it's a train doesn't have a bell on it, eh, JD?
As long as the train does not have a bell on it, I'll be fine. Matt, can we just quickly get the QR code up as well, just while you get into give you more complicated instructions that you're breaking. There we go. So if you do want to scan, see the manual to get a little bit more clued up before the release on how to operate the trains and all the safety systems, James in the team has put together a brilliant manual for you. So scan the QR code, you can access it there. It's also on the Steam page if you're on there too. Thank you.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good feedback about the manual so far. I like it. I thought it was extremely detailed. They did a nice job on it.
Yeah, I think James has done. James, he very much. I'm not going to say he enjoys writing the manuals, but I think he takes a lot of pride in the manuals, and I think he's knocked it out of the park with this one.
Oh, I got kicked out. There you go. So that's run number 2. What's next?
Look at that graph.
I know.
Okay, next one is the night lighting.
Service
Strap in,
2804, right? Is that what you have written down, JD?
I have. What do I have written down? I have 2804 Woodside to Penn.
Back in the M9.
Back in the M9, yes.
2804. This is custom.
Is that Woodside to Penn? I have a feeling it'll show up as something different. Yeah, it's yeah, it's that one. Yeah, 2804.
So
Light fog, I think.
Yeah, we wanted light fog. I don't know whether the timer, because the log here doesn't have any mention of weather to set. It just says light fog.
You can, yeah. I think just.
Right, I think we might have it right there. Let's go with that anyway.
Max has also asked you to dim the lights as well.
Okay.
Dim the lights when you're in the cab.
So far, I remember I turned them on at all.
The fog will just blind you if you set it so bright. It's crazy. Kind of the same thing with heavy rain too. I don't know what it is, but
that's why you've got fog lights, I guess, isn't it? But okay, so the aim for this is we'll show you the New York skyline in the background, and there'll obviously be a bit of fog as well, so we can show you the volumetric fog too.
Did you unlock the correct set of doors, Matt?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did not. Far too much to expect.
It's all good.
Yes, you can sort of get the little hazy, or I like that shot. Well, no, you stuck a post in the middle of it, but.
It's a nice view. surprisingly busy for it being 3:30 in the morning.
I was going to say that actually.
It's New York. No one ever sleeps. It's kind of their buzz thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You didn't sleep brilliantly well last night, Brandon, so I guess you're Exhibit A.
That'll be fine.
Right, off we go.
So this train would normally continue all the way to Far Rockaway, but for the service here, we're just gonna go to Valley Stream. That's as far as we can go. And I wonder what branch it's gonna take us down. So there's two paths. Typically they would take like the Atlantic branch, but the Montauk branch is also a valid option to get you there. And we're taking the Atlantic branch.
Trains coming in the distance, lighting the fog up.
Yeah, that looks cool.
And even at 3:40, you're still seeing other traffic on the line.
Yeah, this line is constantly busy all day. It just gets busier at rush hour.
Yeah, unfortunately, on this line, there's not a huge variety in signaling. If the line is clear ahead, you're pretty much just going to have an 80 code the whole time. But if you're following something, that's when it gets kind of interesting. Not going to be following something this early, but...
There we go, full beams. Dimmed.
Oh, we got the upgrade to 30. Totally didn't see that. Too busy messing about.
No, you're good.
Max has said from 12 till 5 AM is the busiest passenger route in the game. He reckons about 113 services at late night, which sounds like a lot.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. You looking through the questions, JD?
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look, see if there's anything that we haven't answered yet. I think we've covered quite a lot of stuff already. Just to reiterate while we have a little bit of sort of downtime, some of the things that we talked about over the course of the stream that have changed as a result of this particular route being developed. So I said this at the start, but there are 625 services if you own the M3 add-on. That's an extra 32, so nearly 600 services just within the add-on itself. There's 287 M7 services, that is up for 181 in Long Island. You've got 306 M9 services too. When you sort of throw AI into that as well, there's 1,104 services, which I believe is the fourth most playable passenger route in game. There is the guard mode scenario, which we'll show you in a little bit. We've added 15 miles onto the route length to bring it up to 57 miles. It's 37 stations, plus 10 new in the Long Beach branch, plus also we've seen the abandoned Woodhaven station as well. The new M9 EMU is built from scratch. The M7 has had the Harlem M7 sounds added to it, and they will both operate on this route. The M3 EMU will also layer onto this route as well, but is a separate add-on. We have Sunnyside Yard has static AI from New York Trenton and the Acela. The timetable is based on the 2021 timetable, where possible. We've updated the station areas, lighting, with updated lighting and textures. Obviously, you've been seeing that over the course of the stream. We've had the updated PIS, which I know a lot of people were particularly excited by. The updated scenery textures, water materials, which we showed right at the start, and there is the full TSW4 feature set, including things like the volumetric fog, which you can see here, the Todd 4 lighting, the scenario planner with the additional chained paths, which we'll show in a bit. The rain effect on the windscreen, which we haven't showed, but will be similar to what you might have experienced in other TSW4 routes, and the dynamic weather as well. So I think kind of gives a flavour for the work and the kind of the hard labour, I guess, that's gone into making this a reality. And again, I want to emphasise it's a really collaborative thing here. We've had some really great feedback from players like Brandon, and we've also had some amazing sort of feedback from people that ride this route, that go on this route every day, that know it far better than we do. So we hope we've done a good job with it. We hope we've done you proud. But yeah, it's available. If you like what you've seen so far, it's available to pre-order on Steam right about now. Max said 25 complete end-to-end services, the most in any route. So thank you, Max.
So I'm expecting that we're going to have a stop signal at the end of Valley Stream, so what you're seeing now is the progression down to that stop signal. What are you going to say, JD?
There was a question from, I can never remember how to pronounce their name, and I apologise because I know I'm getting it wrong. Kabepe.
Kabepe.
You can have to. Kabepe, yeah. Did we have the stop and proceed signals in the old route?
It should have been there. I don't know if it behaved properly. I mean, I guess it should have. I don't know. You'd have to go back and play it yourself and see if it... Yeah.
And then Raw said we did mention what the mastery was. We covered it right at the start of the stream because we went past it. But Matt, what's the mastery on this route?
It is the control center for the Long Beach Bridge. It's a lifting bridge in reality, and you can you can get into it in the mastery.
Got an approach signal at Valley.
So where would we say the best if you wanted to virtual rail fan? Where would be the best places to go? I assume Jamaica would be number one on the list. Is there any other places, points of interest that people would want to go to?
Valley Stream's not bad. Even Floral Park isn't all that bad because you get some mainline stuff, as well as Hempstead branch stuff.
Cool.
I'd say Jamaica's my go-to.
Yeah, I mean, I think you shared a video with us, Matt, didn't you?
From Eddie, yeah.
Eddie recorded it, and
it's a time lapse at Jamaica, and it's just manic.
Yeah.
Woodside's another good one if you want to get a look at a lot of signals, and you also have tons of mainline action. Port Washington branches off of there, so Woodside's a pretty busy station.
Dean asked a good question. Why do they call it Jamaica Station? Do we know?
I mean, I think that's the name of the city, right?
Google will tell me all.
Yeah, it literally just says it's a neighborhood in Queens.
Cool.
Evicted. There you go. That's the third service. Is it double duty next?
It is, yes.
Okay.
So,
we're not going to run all of
Matt,
double duty. We're just going to run a bit of it.
Yes. Would you be able to just give a quick summary as to what we mean by guard mode and the story of guard mode so far? Because this is the second time, obviously, that it's appeared in different formats. Obviously, we tried kind of a piloty version of it with Glossop Line, but this feels like a much more kind of complete experience. Do you want to tell us a little bit more, Matt?
So Glossop Line had a short, sort of 6 stations, I think it was, and it was done entirely as an experiment. We didn't know whether people would find this a fun thing to do, or whether they'd just look at us really strangely and go, "What?" So we did something short, and it was just one of the gameplay team had an idea of how to make it work and how to deal with it and what to do there, and he put this together, and actually it was the #1 most played scenario in the game, entirely in the game, for a first month when it came out, and remains very high on the list to this day. So it's kind of like, oh, that's quite popular then. Interesting. So, but there's been one of the big requests has been we'd like to see more. So it's taken a bit of a time to get back to it, but Long Island double duty was where we were able to get back to the guard mode experience. So done with the flavour of this. So you can see we actually signalling the engineer now as well. This is not just guard mode. We're actually going to be guiding the engineer as we come out of here. Let him know that I'm on. Well, let them know I'm on. Let's not make assumptions. So yes, we've this is a complete run. So this is a much more substantial a guard mode experience. So it's kind of like, okay, everyone really liked the short one. What do you think of this? And this is very much a different flavour of doing of the same thing, because obviously we're in the States. We've got these extra things, this extra dynamic of working with the AI driver, yeah, let us know what you think. Really, it's we have things we want to do with guard mode. This is experiment number 2. What do I buzz to make him go faster? There won't be any NPCs on the train at the moment. We're in a depot, Evan.
Yeah, so you pull out of the yard track, and then once you're out of the yard, then you reverse back into your station track. So they'll keep a stock of trains in Long Beach Yard overnight. So like they'll pull those services out, those trains out in the morning out of the yard, and those will be your first services that leave to go west. Pretty cool though. It's a different perspective for sure.
It definitely is.
Changes the pace of it. I was talking about replayability before, and this kind of helps with that. even though it's only one scenario, it'd be cool if this was like a game mode in itself.
So that's kind of where I want to get to, but I just want to really, it feels like an important thing to sort of explore, and scenarios are really much easier way to explore things like this.
Yeah, and Pixel makes a good observation actually. Mentions that conductor mode or guard mode was included in the survey that we sent out a few months ago, and it was one of the highest voted sort of game modes. So as I say, that's kind of helped inform some of the decisions that we've made with, say, producing this kind of a scenario, because it sounds like it's something that everybody seems to be really intrigued for. So yeah, we hope, as I say, you enjoy it when we get to kind of the meat of the scenario.
Pull back into the station now, where we can start getting passengers on and throwing them off again because they're wrong.
Just before we get to that, if there's a question about the etymology of the name Jamaica, and it is evolved from the word Yamako, which means beaver in the language spoken by the Lenape, the Native Americans or the indigenous Americans that lived there in the area at the time of the first European contact. So it's got a pretty good etymology as well in terms of a name.
Interesting.
Are we going to have people hiding in the bathroom? No. Well, if there is anyone hiding in the bathroom, they will be eternally locked in there.
What do you want us to lose our license?
So the real railways isn't a load of high speed running along the rail of the lines. A lot of time spent actually in the real railways is this kind of movement. So it's kind of it's actually really cool to get this perspective and this style of operation in, rather than just having the traditional gun and run type mode.
Yeah, I mean there are nine scenarios on this in this add-on, and as I say, this one's kind of, I guess, the jewel in the crown, the one that offers that something that's a little bit different. But as ever, we try to, with the scenarios, create different kinds of experiences than you would find on timetable or service mode.
When I played this for the first time, I was like, is the AI engineer going to stop? I thought he was going to hit the bumper block.
It is getting perilously
Like, it's
close,
scary.
isn't it?
Yeah, no, watch, it's scary. You'd think he's going to hit it, but he doesn't.
I think the AI would have got a perfect stop there. 500 action points.
PIS on the platform just woke up, so we've now become an active service.
Fair. I don't remember leaning out the window being a
No, that's new.
last time.
That's new.
So we're not going to do the full scenario because obviously we want you to be able to enjoy it yourselves and not spoil everything. But we'll do a little bit of just the kind of the quick intro, and then we'll do the last couple of bits tonight.
Yeah, this next bit is kind of cool. I wasn't expecting the amount of detail that ended up getting put into it. It was kind of cool.
Oh, you found a potential victim, Matt.
So this is based on an authentic ticket as well. So it is the 25th. It is the 25th, 2019. This is a Long Beach to Island Park, Zone 7. We are Long Beach going to Island Park, so this is good ticket. We got points.
What happens if you get it wrong and you tell them to get off the train?
I actually don't know. I think you just lose points in that instance. Long Beach Island Park, 225. That's good. Thank you for your ticket.
Looking forward to being able to chuck somebody off the train. I can't wait.
No.
It's kind of tricky. The hitbox for it is kind of small.
225, Long Beach, Lynbrook. Lynbrook is good.
But he's
225, Long Beach, Oceanside is good. Uh, 225, Long Beach to Penn Station. You're going to be with us the whole way. I've missed somebody. We'll come back to them. I'm sure they're fine.
There's gonna be a lot. I think there's some people going to have some fun role playing.
Yeah. Oh, very much so.
Yeah. Make sure we check the bathrooms, Matt. As well.
Locust Manor 225.
Come on, I want to find somebody that isn't legit.
225 Rosedale.
Where's we go?
Right, is anyone in front of us? Nope, just the one back here we missed. JD is pinning all his hopes and dreams.
All of
on
my
this
hopes.
last
I've got
person.
everything crossed that we've got a rogue person that's decided to try and chance it.
Nah, I saw him walk by somebody before the objectives kind of took effect. Must be this straggler. Getting your steps in today, Matt.
Oh yeah.
Say, that walking distance is going to go right up. Here we go. He's by the toilets.
225 Long Beach to Oceanside. Oh, guess you're going to have to wait until the next station.
Right, fine. Yeah, I really like this opportunity to lean out. That's cool.
Hmm.
So I guess that's kind of the flavour of the scenario. Is there anything, Matt? Did you want to go any further, or did you want to leave it there for?
I think we'll do one more pickup just to go through the process one more time, and then we'll call it once we leave the next station.
Okay, cool.
Just in case we get the opportunity to throw somebody off.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
I love the view with the yachts out there and everything. It's nice.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Exciting times. Yeah, that's the mastery in there.
Love water textures. Good quality on sort of windows as well.
Say that again, Jodie.
The wind noise when you're looking out of the side of the window.
I can turn the game volume back up again now. It was deafening.
Thank you, Liam, for giving me the football updates as well in the chat. Always good to see.
What? I must have missed that.
There's some. I think a lot of the people in the chat know which football team I support and like to give me updates on things that might affect my team.
I see. Okay. Are they playing right now?
They're not, but there's a couple of there is a game going on that sort of indirectly affects us. Soccer. Sorry, I forget that we're talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
A
Yeah,
US
you're good.
stream and should be using
Oh,
US
stop it.
terminology.
You're fine.
It is
You're good.
soccer. Right, Matt. Let's kick some people off this train.
Just kick everybody off.
Yeah, just do it. Go nuclear. I'm just gonna likely.
Island Park 2, Rosedale. He's got the right ticket. What happens if I say no? I get no points. Nothing happens. I get no points.
It just sits there.
Island Park to Oceanside is good. You perfected my score, JD. I'm disappointed.
I didn't tell you to kick them off if they weren't legit.
Island Park, Rosedale 225.
Do we know if this is randomized each time, or is it randomized each time? Okay. So again, that replayability factor comes into effect.
I think we already checked their spec at Long Beach.
Oh, yeah, we did. We did.
I think you missed one though.
Sneaky.
That lady right there.
Island Park, Locust Manor with today's ticket. Boring.
Here we go.
225 Island Park, Oceanside. Boring.
Legit. Come on. Come on.
I'm going to talk to Liam about it. We need more.
Hoodlums.
We need more negativity going on here. East Rockaway, 225. Valley Stream, 225. We run out of tickets to check. We ran out of tickets to check. Next station is Oceanside.
Boo.
Of course, seeing as the environment racing by. You feel more like you're travelling on the train, even when you do, because you're doing something. There's always been the thing that I wanted to try and do, is get it to where you were doing something on the train, so that you do, because it gets quite tedious just sat there doing nothing at all. Whereas actually, you know, being part of that moving service is always, you know, really interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Train Sim World guy asks, can I make my own conductor scenario? I guess.
No.
With the
Well, I guess using the editor you can do anything you like, but we have no like make new guard scenario functionality. Watching you.
Right, Matt.
Right.
I think that's done it for the guard mode. So we don't want to ruin it all. So that is kind of a flavour of the guard mode or the conductor scenario. That will obviously be coming with the release as well. Just a couple of things before we finish. We did say we'd do a little recce of Penn Station.
What did they want to see in Penn? I'm curious.
Just look around to see how it had been changed.
Around. Yeah.
Oh, all right. It's mostly just resolving clipping.
It is basically just Fixing problems, not fundamentally changed. We haven't suddenly modelled upstairs. Wait, yeah, you can see NJC trains in over there.
Did that passenger have a DTG backpack?
Yep.
The one that was just walking on the platform? I just noticed that now.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah. Did we get given that as a swag at some point? That.
Sorry?
Like that? Did we get given that as swag at some point?
No, not that one.
No.
We do have a DTG bag, but it's not like that.
Yeah, I might actually have it in here. I think I do. Obviously we don't have cams on, but Brandon can see that. Not quite as fancy as the one that's on the NPC.
Let's give that feedback to Lindsay. We need more fancy, please.
Yes, please.
We've got an M3 over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll find the platforms lined up much, much better.
Evans asked if I'm going to do the next roadmap stream. No, I think Alex is taking that one. Have to admit, I don't miss writing the roadmaps. Alex has taken on that mantle, done a brilliant job, but it's not something that I miss too much. It's a lot of work to get it done. It feels very fulfilling when you get it out there, but it's a lot of work to get it done.
While we're here, there is one thing that I do want to say. There's likely going to be a patch shortly after release, so toward the end of development, I found a couple of minor bugs with with signaling stuff that had broken. I don't know how it broke, but it did. And I went to go fix it, and when I submitted changes recently, it caused some problems. So we were kind of scrambling recently trying to recuperate from that. Turns out I had some corrupt files on my computer. Corrupt source files. So there's a couple things you'll notice, particularly when approaching Penn Station in the release build. You're going to have a restricting signal coming into the station for seemingly no reason. The progression coming into Penn is just a little bit off. So I've got it working now. I don't have any more corrupt files, and that'll be coming to a patch near you soon.
Just to be clear, there are no corrupt files being distributed in the build. We got rid of them all.
No.
But it's two minor things, and they'll come as a patch at an appropriate time. But as you can imagine, it's a pretty delicate system. There's so much going on with this signalling and the route and the timetable. It's when you get to this level of complexity, it becomes fragile.
Yeah, it's like a butterfly effect, isn't it? The smallest thing can cause quite a big impact. But yeah, good to hear that it's resolved to a certain extent.
Yeah, it's
cool. Okay. Cool. Should we take a quick look at the scenario planner options for the route, and then I think we will call it a night for there. Simon's GoPro video asked, do escalators and lifts work?
No, they don't.
Don't have an ETA for the patch just yet, Odin. We'll of course let you know when we've got more information. It might even be that in this case it might make release for some of the platforms, but we just don't know until we've gone through sort of the cert process for some of the consoles.
So what I want to do now is go Creators Club, and we'll go Scenario Planner, Long Island, create a new. I'm not going to do anything particular. Just wanted to give you the ability to see some of the pathing that can be set up on here.
Yeah.
My super advanced
David Mangum's asked, can I use locos from the Harlem line on the new Long Island route? Yep, on free roam you can. The only way that the locos on the Long Island route that you are showing you right now, they will have. I mean, they won't work per se on routes, but you can still use them. But you probably won't be able to get over 15 miles an hour on most routes. So the M9 and the M7 that come with this add-on. But you can bring anything on to Long Island if you want to. Looking forward to seeing some Flying Scotsman or insert other really inappropriate train here on the route.
So set some paths up there, go to there, confirm, M9, 10. Now I can add a new path. So starting from Jamaica, I can go to, got Long Island City, got New York Penn. Okay, so platform 2 in Jamaica might not have been the place to go then because it's limiting me to go to New York Penn. But let's go to New York Penn track 2, track 20. We'll just go, I'll go to there. There you go. So you can see you've got reasonable flexibility in terms of where you can go, what you can go to. It can't be anything to everything, because the list would be incalculably long. But the team have tried to add as many starts and ends as they can, so that you can path your trains in fun, interesting ways. And that's it really.
Oh yeah, so it's obviously a TSW4 core feature is the ability to have those kind of chained paths in the route, and obviously that is now something that we can do. Oh, we're back on face cams again. That was nice to have 2 minutes of face cams at the start and then like 2 minutes at the end, just to make sure we keep ourselves honest. Okay, thank you very much everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed that, and you can see sort of the love and care and the effort that's gone into kind of bringing this up to the standards that you've seen tonight. Hope you've enjoyed all the new stuff as well. It is available to pre-order if you are on Steam. You can get 10% pre-order discount, but you can also get an additional 10% if you already own the existing Long Island route. That'll bring it up to 20% total discount. They are time limited discounts, so just be aware of that. But if you are interested, please fill your boots. We'd love to see what you think come release day on Tuesday. That is obviously the 30th of April. That's the month that we're in at the moment. And as usual, it will release on console around about 10 a.m. UK time. I'm going to do some quick calculations in my mind. I think that is 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Pacific is 4 a.m. No, 2 a.m. Pacific, and then for Steam, for Epic it'll be 4. Just take it back 4 hours and 8 hours, and then I can't remember the conversions exactly, but it is around about those times. Just go from BST, and that is 6 p.m. on Steam. I should have really written that down, unfortunately, but hey ho, you can work backwards from it. It's standard normal release times. But yeah, lots and lots of things to enjoy. You can see it's a really varied, really dynamic, really crowded route of stuff. That there's lots of things that you can explore and enjoy. 5 a.m. Eastern. Thank you very much, Liam. There we are putting in the QR code for the manual. Read up about it. The safety systems obviously will be on by default, so we want to make sure everyone's as clued up as they can be before we go live. You can scan that QR code, or you can go onto our Steam page and just click the link to the manual on there as well. All that remains tonight is for me to say thank you very much to our guest, our driver for the evening, Matt. Thank you very much, Matt, and really sort of give our kudos to the rest of the team. It looks like you've done an absolutely stellar job with this particular route, and I hope it sounds like the feedback from the community is also really positive as well. So let's hope, as I say, it's all very positive.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know the team have worked really hard on it. They're all really proud of it as well. So just excited to get it out in players' hands now and have fun.
Brilliant. And also want to say a massive thank you, for giving up his evening tonight, but also his work and contribution to the route as well in terms of the signalling and the expertise and the knowledge. Thank you very much, Brandon. It's been a pleasure having you on the stream too.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I come on anytime.
Well, we might hold you to that one.
That's fine. I love it. Just ask.
when we launch on Tuesday, obviously we'll be putting out things like feedback posts and things like that, so you can let us know what you think, and obviously we'll be sharing all of the things that you're making, like the scenarios, deliveries, all of that kind of stuff over the course of the coming weeks and months too. So thank you very much for watching. We will be calling it an evening there. We hope you're looking forward to Tuesday. Yeah, you can pre-order now, but other than that, have a lovely evening, folks, and we will see you again soon.
Cheers, everybody.
All right.
Night.
Take care, everybody. Bye.